Okay, hopefully we got the bugs worked out of this one. Uh, let's see. How are we all doing today? All right, we have some issues going on with this is just basically a talking forum today, but some of the issues that we have going on right now in our fight for legalization of marijuana and for the dispensaries is getting kind of carried away. You know, they're jailing a bunch of the dispensary owners, and they're making it so that the licenses are hard to get. Now, my feelings on the situation is it needs to be run by residents of Michigan only. I don't want other states coming into Michigan and opening dispensaries, or other countries coming in and opening up dispensaries. I want it Michigan residents only for the simple reason it's our state. Now, that's the only business aspect that I feel should remain Michigan residents only. So that's why I feel as strongly towards the legalization as I do. And now, the other thing that we're dealing with here, everybody knows we have corrupt government in Michigan and in our federal government. That's a given. But we also have corruption in our courts. So here's one thing I want to ask. Does anybody know what the common denominator is with the corruption in our government and our corruption in our courts? There is a common denominator between the two. You know, and it's an issue I'm willing to take head on, because, you know, my campaign promises are to end the corruption in our courts, along with ending the corruption or holding our elected officials accountable, something that we haven't really enforced. After all, the recall system, if you look at it, is rigged against us, the people. And a perfect example I've used before is our current governor, Rick Schneider. When the people gathering the signatures for the recall were getting close to the number of signatures they needed, our government thought it was fair and kind to change the law, which we never should do. Our laws should be held up, whether it be against a politician or a common person. I don't feel there's equality in the system when it is waived towards our elected officials. That will change with my election as governor. Now, I want to be held accountable. If I make a promise to the people, I want you, the people, to hold me accountable. That's what's going to keep us on our toes. So, how you doing, Jay? You know, it's just a matter of we have to get the people to wake up and to look other than to a Republican or a Democratic party. The party itself is what's corrupting our politicians, along with the money that they make from their lobbyist friends and buddies. You know, my campaign fundraise director, he hates it when I say it, because I don't like collecting money from corporations. I stay with collecting my donations from you, the people. You know, and I just won't be swayed on it. I don't want to owe any corporation a favor. But back to the question that I asked earlier. How you doing, Zach? Now, can you figure out which common denominator is with the majority of our corruption in our government and our corruption in our courts? The answer to that question is our lawyers. Now, you know, they believe it or not, have what we call a win-loss ratio. If they do real well in their winnings for their courts, they seem to be able to get partnership with larger firms or move out to where they can make even more money. Driving Lyft, I have run across quite a few lawyers, and some of them are arrogant as all hell, which I guess they feel they have a right to be. But as a common denominator between the corruption in our courts and our corruption with our government is the lawyers. I mean, if you pay attention to the majority of the elected officials that are in the federal government, I believe the number is right around 90% or 92% are all lawyers. I'm not knocking them, but if you look at our current commercials, you have lawyers all over the TV, trying to say they want to represent you to get you millions and hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's just promoting sue happy society. Now, there is a time to sue a corporation or a person, but I don't believe, most of the lawyers take between 33 and 40% of the money that they win from your case anyways. And they honestly don't care about whether you survive after they win the case or not. And we have our first family of lawyers in the Detroit metro area. And then again, you have Trott and Trott, which is one of the oldest law firms here in the United States. Dave Trott, he's an elected official, but he's not running no more, which, he found out that he didn't want to keep the people as happy as he thought. He was one of the ones that was in this big foreclosure thing going on back a couple years back. Excuse me. And yes, I'm not trying to get all wound up or fire anybody up. I'm just here trying to get your ideas and thoughts and just talk. Sometimes I have a bad habit of getting wound up, and I'm trying not to do that. Practice, let's just call it that. And again, I have new video equipment here, so I'm also trying to work with that and make sure I have a better broadcasting system than what I've had currently. So as time goes along, things are getting more professional. We're getting ready to put out op-eds for the campaign. We're looking for people who want to be involved in some of the videos. I want honest people. I'm not telling people what to say in these videos. You may or may not be used in our commercials or not. We're looking for the honest people that want to be involved. We're also always looking for volunteers. I believe in our last broadcast last Sunday, I gave you an update on our signature drive. I believe we have 85 more days to get 13,228 signatures. Excuse me. So we are gathering our signatures still. And again, this is our third signature drive. Lansing doesn't seem to like our signatures. But we are doing the best we can. And we are actually picking up more volunteers here and there. I won't lie to you. I'd like to pick up 150 of them over the week, geared up for next weekend, because I'd like to go back into Saginaw and Flint and canvass those two areas again for this signature drive. We haven't been up there yet. We've been picking in small cities, and we haven't gone back into Detroit metro area yet, but we'd like to canvass Flint and Saginaw in the next couple of weekends. So we're getting ready for that. So if you'd like to volunteer for Flint and Saginaw, we would gladly take you. How you doing today, Miss Virginia? But yeah, we are currently staying really busy. I won't lie to you, sometimes it gets frustrating, but I'm not going to quit until the race is over or until I can't participate, which I don't see that non-participation happening. So I just don't want to come in as a write-in. That makes it even harder. And I think if we gather our signatures and turn them in, I think that sends a message to the two-party system that for the first time they have an independent that's knocking on their doors. And I think the people of Michigan are ready for an independent. I think they finally figured out that the two-party system has lost touch with them, and we cannot stand for them ruling our state anymore. I'd like to say our federal government, but I'm more concerned with the state I live in than the federal government, for the simple fact, as governor, we can take back our state. We can do our own health insurance. We can take care of our own auto insurance. And them are two of the main promises I have for the people of Michigan. Like I said, but just by electing me alone, the average family will save between $6,000 and $12,000 annually. That's just a savings between health insurance, auto insurance, and elimination of your property tax on your primary residence. So I'm not backing down from my promises. I have things in the works to where upcoming videos, if I have to, I can bring out my policy papers. Anybody who wants a brief overview of my policy papers, I can mail you copies of them. Or I can put them out here publicly. It doesn't matter. I can put them on the website. We do have it, by the way, we do have a new website up and running. So, I'd like to get your opinions on that. I think it's a better looking website. I just like it all together. And for once, I didn't have no involvement in creating it. The first couple, I had my fingers in, and I don't want to do it anymore. So, but yeah, we are out here. How are you going to estimate the property tax? Well, Rhonda, like I said, good evening, Virginia. Rhonda, we are going to eliminate the property tax on your primary residence, not estimate it, or any other way. We are going to restructure the entire tax system for Michigan. And in that restructuring, we will eliminate the property tax on your primary residence only. This does not include elimination of property tax on businesses, just on the residents. But yes, it's all figured into the restructuring. The idea of it is it'll spark, sorry about that, it'll spark a housing boom for our state and make it easier for people to afford a home. Yes, Jay, I am listening to the people, and I am a real person. I'm not a polished politician, so sometimes I do get wound up, and I'm not, one of these great orators with speaking. One of my biggest fears in high school, and Larry, you might remember this, when we had to get up in front of our class and speak, I would always take the bad grade because I didn't want to get up and speak in front of the class. So now, as I'm older and in my 50s, and I got angry, I am now speaking in front of crowds that I normally wouldn't speak in front of. But hey, we have to do what we have to do. And yes, my plan is to make things better for the people of Michigan. Now, I've had people ask me, because I did have a video out here, I don't know, maybe some of you might have remembered it, of wanted posters with Rick Schneider, Brian Calley, and Bill Schuette in them. That video is still out there, and I'm not taking it down. I still believe these three men need to be held accountable. Now, Bill Schuette is one of my opponents. He's declared, and I'm glad he's in the race, because Bill Schuette seems to have been one of the biggest proponents of going against the legalization of marijuana. and he has forgotten numerous people when they've come to him for help in our state. I personally am one of those people, but I don't hold a grudge against him. I will use that information against him during the race. I'm not trying to sling mud if I can avoid it, but the facts are the facts. And anytime I come out speaking, when I bring numbers, I bring actual numbers from my own personal investigation into whatever I'm dealing with. So I am out here for this entire race. No matter what, I will be in it to the end. Well, Rhonda, again, when we restructure the tax system here for Michigan, that should help people live a lot easier than what a current situation is. I mean, we currently have, I don't know if anybody is aware of it, but our health insurance is getting ready to take a spike again. Again, this is an enrollment month. They've cut it down to 6 weeks. I believe the enrollment deadline is December 15th of this year to have health insurance. But again, there's going to be a 33 to 50% spike in some insurances that are on these websites. And that's something that, as governor of the state of Michigan, which I don't understand why our current governor doesn't want to tackle the health insurance or the auto insurance. I have some inside information about the auto insurance plans that we have in the state currently right now. They have no plan to lower auto insurance in Michigan. They're going to come back after Thanksgiving for their 6 days and declare that they're going to wait till the end of till the next year, and then they're just going to let it die. That's partially because, you know, if you follow the trail of money, the insurance industry as a whole placed nearly $10 million into either party's coffers. They put almost $10 million into the Republican Party. They put nearly $10 million into the Democratic Party. Now, if somebody's handing you that kind of money, why would you go against what they want? At least that's what our current politicians feel like and act like. You know, I don't care. This is my reasoning why I do not take money from corporations. But if you pay attention to what the auto insurance industry is doing, oh, well, hello there, Miss Marcia. Well, I thank you for getting some signatures for me. I appreciate that. I will mail out petitions to anybody that wants to help, and I appreciate it. I'm still currently looking for some people over in the Saginaw and Flint area because I want to get your petitions up there as well. But back to what I was saying, you know, our state government doesn't want to lower the auto insurance because they're making good money on it as well. You know, and I want to change all this. I want my government that I see in my future is there for the people, something like it was meant to be. Now, I'm not thinking this is going to be an easy job by any means. And I understand that sometimes we have to choose the lesser of the evils. But that lesser of the evils doesn't necessarily mean it has to go against the people. Okay? And all these politicians right now, and I wish I could say some of them don't feel that way, but they're being turned that way by their own party. This is why I feel so strongly about the independents. And I will support any independent that is close to what my beliefs are for any office in this state. Matter of fact, Marcia Squire is running for U.S. Senate, and she's an independent. I support her 100%. So, you know, these are just things that we need to do. And we have to move away from the Democrats and the Republican parties until they can find some way of coming back to the people. Because I'll tell you right now, they've lost touch on what's going on. And I've said it over and over many times. You know, I can give you a perfect example how I can say they've lost touch with the people, and that's Prop 1 from back in 2015. You know, people voted 80% to turn that bill down. So thanks, Marcia. I thank you for the support. You know, they when the people vote 80% to turn down a bill to raise your sales tax because they see a gas tax hidden behind it, and the sales tax increase was there. They were telling us that it was to increase to help our roads and our schools, even though none of the money was going to get to the roads or the schools for 2 years. So the whole thing is the people still said no because they see the misleading that was going on behind the 1 cent sales tax increase. Now, I personally believe in increasing the sales tax 1 cent. And I'll tell you why, because we're in the restructuring of the tax system here in Michigan. It does include a sales tax increase to 7 cents on the dollar. But that's because that's a fair tax. Whoever purchases pays the tax. It doesn't matter if you're a resident of Michigan or somebody from outside the state. It's a fair tax. And that's why everything that we've put together on the tax restructuring is based on the fair tax. I'll give you an idea. The state income tax is currently 4.25. Now, we have it set up as a 3-tier system. If you make $150,000 or less, your tax will go down to 2.5. If you make $150,000 and 1 penny up to $350,000, your tax base will stay the same at 4.25. If you make over $350,000, your state income tax will go to 6%. This offsets for 80% of the people in Michigan who make $150,000 or less. This is tax relief for the middle class and lower class people. This has nothing to do with spreading the wealth or whatever you want to call it. You know, inequality of wealth, whatever. I don't base myself on that, okay? What I base my policy papers on and my beliefs on are helping the people to rebuild the middle class. The middle class is what built this country. The middle class is what makes our country as great as it is. And no, I'm not going to go to that Trump-esque make America great again or make Michigan great again. I'm just trying to say I want to rebuild our middle class. Michigan is not a poor state, but we are not the wealthiest state. I still think we can do better. If we get a governor in there that stands up for the people, we can do great things. Okay, what do we got going on here? Ooh, here we're back. I don't know what happened there, but Internet Explorer jumped on in front of me. So, yes, Travis, it is hard to take care of a family nowadays when everybody's reaching into your check more than you are. So that's what I'm here to try to do. I'm trying to change this. Hello, Lacey. So, which insurance are you talking about, Travis? I mean, health insurance, we could literally change. Let's see, the health insurance industry in Michigan made $80 billion in 2016. Okay, auto insurance, which you're just talking about right there, Travis, do you realize the auto insurance industry made over $140 billion profit last year in the state of Michigan? Now, what I have, by taking us back to an at-fault state where they can't use your credit report as a way of changing your rates, it has to be based on your driving abilities and skills like it used to be. By going back to an at-fault state, we can knock auto insurance down between 47 and 70%, closer to what Ohio and Indiana is. Do you realize you buy state minimum insurance in Ohio, it's roughly about $50 a month. Right now, if you're lucky, it's $100. You can get under $100 here in Michigan, but you have to be probably about 70 years old where you don't hardly drive. And I don't mean that as a joke. I mean that as reality. Auto insurance took a spike here in Michigan this year of, what Liberty Mutual quote me? They said it went up 27% more. Now, Liberty Insurance is an Ohio-based company. That's where my auto insurance is purchased from, is Ohio. But not very many companies will purchase up into Michigan because they can't charge, or they feel they can't charge that amount. Look at the, what is it, the little green guy in the General. The General insurance, auto insurance will not and cannot function in Michigan because they don't want to pay those high rates. So yeah, we are working. Auto insurance is a big thing on my campaign. They are part of the insurance industry that's bleeding our families dry. Well, hello, Miss Brooklyn. I have never seen you on here before, but I'm glad you joined in. So I'm looking on here and I'm seeing quite a few new people on here, which means I'm getting my message out there. All right, what about... You know, Chris, that's a terrible thing right there. I mean, I have been talking lately, and I'd like to meet with you if possible to talk more on it. I'm still gathering more information on some of the permanent disabled people who work all their life, like you said. I have as well, and they're not getting what they're promised. If I remember right, they send out an annual report to all of us stating how much money we would get if we went on Social Security. What I'm finding out, the majority of us, that I don't know, maybe you are aware of this, but I wasn't, that amount that they put on there is as if we die, that our spouse will receive that amount of money, not what we will receive if we're on it. So I could be wrong, and I'm still gathering a lot more information on that. And I'm sorry that, you know, you're receiving such a small amount on a monthly basis. But that Social Security system is based on the federal, and I don't know much about the state, but we have been talking about having a system put in with our taxes similar. Now, don't take this that I'm meaning this is going to happen, but we are talking about this. Setting up a safety net for the people of Michigan. It wouldn't be anywhere near what the Fed does, but we would personally like to make it to where people would put into a small amount of tax out of every check into a system like Social Security here in Michigan. That would be, you know, a couple extra $100 a month, but don't take that as gospel. This is just something we've been talking about, trying to figure it into our tax restructuring. It hasn't been put in there, so I don't want you to get any ideas yet. We are talking about it, though. Okay. Yeah, see, and you know, Virginia, I realize you're from out of state, but are you from out of state, if I remember right? I'm just trying to remember because I've seen you on some of my Facebook lives over the year, but I haven't been current on these, and I'm just now getting back into where I'm on them every Sunday. So I'm trying to. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, you're paying 134 for state minimum, correct? You know, and like I said, you know, we shouldn't be that high for state minimum insurance. Uh, there's a lot of people my age in Ohio that actually pay $29 and $30 a month for PLPD. I'd like to do that, Chris. I would like to set up a time to meet with you, preferably on a Sunday or a Monday. Other than that, I am I'm working 10 and 12 hours a day, not just at my regular work, but between Lyft, driving, getting out my message to people, talking to them one-on-one, and also with the campaign. But I will make time to speak with you as long as you want to set that up. My phone number, like I've said many a times, I'm not bashful. I will put my phone number out there. I do answer my phone. And there you have my phone number right there, whoever wants to grab onto it. You know, so it's public knowledge what my phone number is. It is on my Facebook page. And I realize I'm broadcasting from my personal Facebook page and not my campaign page, so I'll get yelled at for that by my campaign manager. But until we switch everything over to the campaign page, I'm reaching out to everybody here. So if you haven't liked or joined my campaign page, please go to the campaign page and like it and join it so that you get notified when I'm out here on these Facebook Lives. I believe we're going to switch my personal page to private here within the next week or less. I don't see Chris on here to tell me that I'm wrong, so I'm assuming. Of course, we all know what assuming means. But yes. So Virginia, would you be interested in help? Oh, I just spoke of Chris, and there he is. Yes, Chris, I have already mentioned that we have the new website up and running. So we are always looking for volunteers. Virginia, if you'd like to help out with canvassing and gathering signatures in Flint, that'd be great. Seeing how I see that's where you live. We are going to be canvassing there's again, you know, if there's any other questions, you know, you can drop your questions onto my campaign page and I will answer them more in depth for you. I'm not always on Messenger, but if you leave a message on there, I try to get to them. I check my phone every half hour, basically, even when I'm at work. So, and I do answer the phone. Unless you block your phone number, I won't, though, because I don't like those private calls. I figure if you're brave enough to call me, you're brave enough to leave your phone number and a message for me to get back to you. So again, go to the new website, look it over. I think you'll like what it contains. We have some videos on there. Again, we're going to be creating op-eds here pretty frequently. We're going to flood social media. They're going to be on the website as well. You can get in touch with Chris on there. Chris Rusin, his email's on the web page. You know, if you want to volunteer, if you want to donate, there's donate buttons up there with 3, 5, I believe it's 3, 5, and 10 and other. You can donate one time or you can set it up reoccurring. You know, every dime that we get from you goes to printing and helping run this campaign. I still have a couple of volunteers that are on the staff that aren't being paid, and I appreciate everything they're doing. Without them, we wouldn't be as far as we are now. So I appreciate all the volunteers that are helping out. You know, again, I don't know what the heck is going on with this. All right. Why does my internet keep blocking me and coming back in? I must have something on, and I will figure out. Well, I hope the best for you, Virginia. If you can't volunteer, that's fine too. I would never push anybody hard to volunteer. So I should, and a lot of people tell me I should be out there just hammering volunteers and donations and all this and that, but I'm out here trying to make things better for the people of Michigan, and I am glad you finally joined, Martimus. Gives me an, you know, uh, but again, we need as much support as we can. I need you to spread the word out there that there is an independent candidate, and I want you to stress independent. We need to go and move away from the two-party system. I'm not saying do away with it, but we need to get a third party or an independent party strongly in there. If we can get a dozen of them in the House, that'll change the way the system works. It would really change the system. You elect me as your next governor because I am an independent. So, you know, this is something that we need to really lean towards, is pushing for an independent candidate. Not necessarily me, but I like to believe, I feel like I can do the job real well. So, you know, in talking with everything else that's going on, you know, some of the biggest concerns that we have is auto insurance is a big thing. Health insurance is a big thing. Tax restructuring is one of my major things. And I think with the restructuring of the taxes, I have plans between infrastructure rebuilding and the tax restructuring. I have plans that will bring 500,000 jobs to Michigan, you know, over a 4-year period. I'd like to see it higher than that, and I'm going to push for higher than that. But I want to be held accountable by you, the people. You know, my promises are my promises, and that's what I'm going to fight for and move forward. If I can't get the state house and the Senate to agree with me, you better be prepared for a special ballot to be called, because I'll be coming directly to you, the people. So, you know, we're working hard. I'm working hard to gather as many volunteers as we can. I'm working hard to gather as much in donations as we can. You know, we've got Bill Schuette. He's up over $3 million already, and Gretchen Whitmer's almost at $2 million. But it doesn't take just money to win, and Chris will yell at me for this one, but it takes volunteers. It takes people who believe in what you're fighting for, you know, and I'm going to be fighting for the people of Michigan. Like I said, you know, elimination of property tax on your primary residence only is a big thing. You know how much easier that'll make a mortgage payment for your home. You know how much easier that would be for you to even purchase a home for first-time buyers. You know, Michigan is very highly capable of as a state to eliminate that tax. I mean, we have states out there that don't have property tax. You know, I believe Delaware is one of them, doesn't have a property tax on primary residence. But again, when I say eliminate the property tax, it's on your primary residence only. That's not your businesses. So we have plans, and like I said, I have policy papers drawn up that'll give you a brief idea on what I am fighting for. And most people who have seen them, they resonate with them very well. Zach, as far as gun control, I have just very few words for that. The Second Amendment says shall not infringe upon, and that's plain, simple, and clear. I believe in our Constitution 100%. You know, we have a lot of gun laws in place already. We have background checks. You know, we have waiting periods. I believe it's a 5 or 7 day waiting period already. You know, it's just a matter of, I can't see adding more gun laws to the law books. All we need to do is enforce the ones that we have. And I don't believe in infringing upon gun rights. You know, the Constitution is clear. It states shall not infringe upon, and that's exactly what it is it shall not be infringed upon. I consider myself a strong constitutionalist. I believe in the Constitution as the law of the land, along with their Bill of Rights. Oh, wow, you're going to get me going into a different direction, but that's fine. this is part of the corruption in our courts. You have judges legislating law from the bench or writing law from the bench, however you want to word it. We can't have that. Their job is to mediate and make sure that people are being treated fairly, not rewrite laws or broaden the laws to encompass whatever they seem fit. We can't have this. This is a very, very dangerous path to go down. And again, I will hold all of them accountable. I got into a pretty hefty conversation with the gentleman over Rick Schneider. He says, well, he didn't intentionally try to poison the people of Flint. I never said he did. Okay. But in my opinion, he failed miserably. He should be held responsible as in misconduct of office and gross negligence. How the heck can you say, as the governor of your state in a major city, that you didn't hear about it for a year? That's the biggest thing I can't get past. Oh, and I promised I wouldn't get wound up, so I'm not going to go there. But the whole thing is, these are things that we need to do. These are things we need to change. These are things that I will change. These are things that I will do. I put 10 campaign promises out there, and I have not changed any of my campaign promises in the year and a half that I've been out here doing Facebook Lives. The only thing that's ever changed on them has been my numbers, because yes, they change every 6 months to every year because I get new numbers and I want to make sure we're accurate as possible. We've got fact checkers out there, and I don't want them saying, oh, he was off or he's lying or any of this, because I'm not playing that game. So, but I've already been on here longer than I thought I was going to be. But if there's any other questions out there that you want me to answer, I will gladly answer them. Again, Chris, make sure, and I mean this to the other Chris, I can't scroll through here. There we go. To Chris Thornton. If you want to get in touch with me, get in touch with me. Or you can get a hold of Chris Rusin on my webpage and reach out to him, and we can set up a meeting. I will come out to you. I'm not bashful. As long as you're not bashful, I'm not bashful. Okay, what do you got written on here? Yes, and again, I need you to go to the campaign page and like and join. So if you want to take part in any of our Facebook Lives, because I believe in less than 10 days we are going to switch my private or my personal Facebook back to private, and our Facebook Lives will be generating off of the campaign page. I'm looking for a better place to do them as well, because I had one person tell me they're tired of seeing my green room. Oh, come on. This is my little private office here at my house, where I spread. If you look at the little toddler bed behind me there, I got papers all over there because I'm researching this, researching that, and I just put them on that bed. This is my private space here. So we'll figure something out. I guess I can be more professional, or nah, that ain't me. Sorry, you're stuck with my green room. Come on, I'm going to keep it real. Well, Carrie, I want you to keep your gun. I want you to feel safe. And hello, I'm glad you came on here, and I'm always looking forward to talking to you. So again, go to the new website, look it over, tell me what you think about it. You can send me messages through the contact page. You can send me messages on Facebook. I see them all. So, go on there. If you feel you can make a $3 a month reoccurring contribution, I'll take it. We need every penny we can get to fight these big dogs in the race. Bill Schuette needs to go down in a ball of flame, but I won't say that. Oh, I already said that. Sorry. Gretchen Whitmer, and I feel we should stop electing lawyers and attorneys. Come on. All they're doing is continuing the corruption from the courts into our government. So if they're an attorney, don't even look at them no more. I don't care what party they are. I shouldn't say that, but I already did. So, they have their purpose, but it's not in our government. They continue the corruption from the courts right up into our government. We need to stop that as well. We need to elect people like you, me, somebody who brings common sense to our government, not the facade that these lawyers in our current government and courts are doing. So again, thank you for coming to join and listening to me rant, and I hope I answered as many of your questions as I can. Unless there's any more on here, I'm going to sign off. I have to go shave. Sorry for that, but hey, I hate shaving. Come on, I'm a regular guy who wants to do the work for the people. So you have a wonderful evening, and thank you for tuning in to Todd Talks. And I hope to see you next Sunday. If anybody has a suggestion for a show that you would like me to do, please comment. Even after this video is off, you can still continue to comment. I will talk it over with my campaign manager, and if I can get you answers, I will get you answers. So you all have a wonderful evening, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you.